Hey everyone, it's FCA. Okay, first off, for lighting purposes, I turned on my big overhead light and it has a humming sound. So if that whir or the hum bothers you, tell me so I know not to use it again. But I think that it works with my lighting a little bit better. So this is a tutorial that we're doing. It's called Winter Eyes because the white with blue, because the blue cools it down, so it brings that kind of coldness to the look. But the white kind of makes me think of snow, and then the grayish blue brings in the color of snow clouds. And everything else is very demurred. I did this half of my face, I'm sorry, it's backwards. But I did this half of my face with foundation. I know it's hard to tell on my camera, and I'm sorry, but trust me, maybe if I get really close, you can see that this side's not done at all, and that this side is done. It's a very light, very neutral kind of blush, and I'm going to be using the 88 Shimmer palette almost entirely for this look. The only reason I'm going to use a couple other things is because when I have shimmer on my lid, it seems overwhelming to me to have a shimmer highlight. But if you want a shimmer highlight, you could certainly do that. Like if this was the only palette you owned, you could certainly still do this. This is just my preference. And I'm also going to use the 88 Warm palette only because I need the shimmery black in this palette, because the one in my shimmer palette is gone. But you could just use, if you had the shimmery black, you could use just this one palette for the entire look. So yes, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm going to zoom you in to this eye, and I have my mirror right here. So what we're going to start off with is some primer. I have Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and that was quite a lot. We don't need that much. That kind of killed me. Look at that. Look at that madness. Under the eye. Just so you guys know, I don't do anything with my eyebrows. I rarely do. The only time I do any kind of filling in of my eyebrows is when I'm wearing a wig. Quite frankly. Now I'm going to take this slightly fluffy brush, and we're going to use both sides. With one side of it, I'm going to just use, if I had it, I would use one of the shimmery whites that's over here. But I don't have the shimmery white because this palette is pretty old. So I'm going to use this one from Hard Candy. It's just a very shimmery white. If you have a newer, less broken, but this is just a base color anyway. It's not super significant, but I found that it gave me the look I really want for right here when I put this first. Then on the other side of the brush, I am going to use first this blue right here, right there. It's the last of the blue row going from the neutral sides over. And we're just gonna pounce that right on top. Also, you get a lot of fallout with this look, so you want to tap your brush off. If I didn't say that, I just tap it off between my fingers. Then we're going to take this blue up here, which is just that top really light blue, tapping off you, because the shimmer palettes just really give you a lot of fallout issues, and we don't want fallout issues, quite frankly. Okay, now we are going to be using, as soon as I find out where my brush decided to run off to. Where did you go, brush? You were right here, and now you're not right here. Oh, it is right here. It was next to me. Okay, we are going to be using a combination of this blue right next to the really bright turquoise. There's a grayish blue right there. Sorry, this is kind of awkward for me. Just gonna swirl it in there a little bit, and we're gonna mix it with this darker top blue here. And I'm just gonna go back and forth a couple times just to get a good mix. Tap it off just a little bit. It should still be mixed in there, and that's going to go right into our crease. It's a little bit lighter than it is on the other side, but we're going to darken it up to meet. If you have smaller lids, if you have smaller eye space, and so like I have a pretty wide eye space, if you have a smaller eye space, just use less on your lid and bring the crease color down onto your lid, and it'll give you the same crease effect. Same thing if you have mono lids, except bring the color up higher. And I have hooded lids, so you want to bring the color down a little bit lower, so that when it folds over like that, there's still color everywhere. Now, using this same brush, which is just a tapered blending brush, this is actually from Coastal Scents as well. And as I said, if you have the shimmery black in your Shimmer 88 palette, feel free to use that. But I'm just going to use the shimmery black. I'm not using any color that you would not get in the Shimmer palette except for my matte highlight. And that was the 88 Warm palette. And we're just going to lightly put this around in the crease. Just bringing it in. It doesn't need to be heavy. And then to make it so that it's less black, I am going to take that blue, this top, no, right here, this top blue, tap that off, and put it right on top of there, just so that it keeps that blue, because I just needed it darkened. I didn't need it to be crazy. Now, as you can see, or maybe, yeah, as you can see, it's kind of out here. It's way too high. So I have a makeup removing wipe, and we're just going to clean up so that it's where we want it to be and not all over the place. So I'm just going to take it off a little around the edges, just because I do not want it everywhere. And I'm keeping a very curved look to this. And then I'm going to go back with this lighter blue that we used to go back over grayish blue, just so we can keep that blending a bit more. Then for the final part of the eye, I'm sorry if I keep moving out of frame, I don't think I usually do this eye, but this is Creme Brulee, or just Brulee from Wet n Wild. They're usually $1.99 at CVS. I got mine for 50% off. So, yay. But we're just going to put that in there. This is just, it matches my skin tone pretty well. It's a matte highlight. It's not very expensive, but as I said, if you really don't have a preference, you could, of course, use any of the highlights. Got some of that down here. Fix that right now. You could, of course, use that highlight. I'm just going to keep building this till I have what I want. Around the edges, I go all the way around. Then I'm going to take a very, very thin brush like this. I'm going to take that darkest blue right here, just give it a slight swirl, tap it, because this is going underneath your eye, so you really don't want to fall out with that. And I got this brush for maybe 29 cents at my university. They had it in the art brush set. Now, there is some fallout. It's hard to see on the camera because my camera is already pretty shiny. I'm going to zoom you out. I said I'm going to zoom you out. If my computer will obey me. And we're just going to take this off in just a couple quick clean swipes. We're just going to take out the fallout that may have occurred around the nose and face area. I'm going to use my Oil De-Slick. Wave that in. I am using Revlon Color Stay. My color is 180 Beige. Which is really weird because all summer I was 150 buff, and then I don't go tanning. And then all of a sudden my skin color was just like, hey, we're going to naturally darken up and just screw you over. It didn't really screw me over because I already used up the rest of my other Color Stay. And we're just going to tap that around. I'm using a lot less on my brush. Color Stay goes quite a long way. Go down the neck and the chest area that's showing here. And you just have to work kind of quickly, not kind of quickly, you have to work quickly with the Revlon Color Stay just because it does tend to set. And if you're wondering, I am using a hard candy flat top brush to do my, because Color Stay is just a really, it's really bad on my brushes. It kind of ruined my first concealer brush. Even after I washed it, after every time I used it, it's still eh. And now I'm going to use a clean sponge. It's just one of those regular cosmetic sponges. Just going to first wipe off any excess with one side, because when you only do half of your face, it's easy to get too much. And then with the bottom part, I'm going to go back over and blur any lines that I have just quickly for an airbrushed finish. This does go on matte. And then I'm just going to take my clean finger around the edges and anywhere I need a little extra, instead of, because I forgot to bring my concealer in here and I don't feel like going to get it. So, and I don't have anywhere to go today that's particularly of importance where I need to be super impressive, but I do want to look like I finished my makeup. And if you need to, just dab it under the eye. That's what I like about Revlon Color Stay, because I couldn't double up like Urban Decay's Naked. I tried to double that up, and you just can't. I'm just going to lightly blur that. Then with the Coastal Scents blush palette, I'm just going to use this middle pink. It's just a very medium light pink. Very soft, just a slight hint of color, nothing too much. And I'm going to take this brown here just to add a bit of dimension to the face. I'm going to use that same brush and just add a little bit of dimension to the face like that. And I want the face to be demurred. I don't know where my mascara, my eyelash curler went to, but if you have one, use that. In the meantime, I'm just going to add my mascara to the best of my non-curled lashes abilities and hope that it works out anyway. Once the mascara is on and while it's still dry, I'm just going to push my lids up. Got a little bit on there. I got that. Lightly, don't push them all the way back, but I'm just going to lift them up just a little bit so that they look a little bit more not flat, since I don't have my eyelash curler. Then I'm going to take my Soft Lips SPF in Pearl. It has a slightly bluish tint. And then on top of that, I'm going to add Lip Luster Rouge à Lèvres Very Berry Lip Gloss. I'm going to get off the excess, and there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will talk to you all later. Bye!